"Jackie?" Tom questioned, as she pulled him in tight under the covers. It had been quite a long day by now, so he didn't feel guilty about going to bed early. Tomorrow would likely be another long one after all. "Yes?" she replied, sounding quite content as she got comfortable, an iron grip settling in around Tom's chest. "Why didn't you tell me you'd had dreams while you were gone?" No answer was forthcoming as Tom lay waiting, feeling her grip tighten uncomfortably. "Jackie, too tight," he grunted out, and she released him right away. "Sorry, I thought it would be nice if you had one nice day. You had all this stuff planned and, well, you didn't need anything else to worry about. Nanook told you, didn't she?" "Yeah. Could have waited till tomorrow, but here we are, I guess." "Damn nobles wanting to spoil the fun," Jackie joked, though without any real joy in her voice. "I'm not mad, Jackie. I thought that, we handle these sorts of things together. It's not just you helping me all the time, It's just a bad dream. Or vision. Who knows, really? Not the first time I've remembered something from back then. It might be nothing." "I guess we'll see. It sure has Nanook worried." "That whole family worries. The moment they wake up in the morning, they start worrying about taxes and stocks, and if they remember some duke's birthday this year. If they aren't worrying, they start worrying they forgot something," Jackie replied, voice still jovial, but Tom saw through it. It was a facade like she so often put up. A strong face for the world to see, one he'd rather hoped she wouldn't need for him. "It's okay to worry, or to be scared. You know how bad things can go out here. We can't just send a runner for help after all, unless you count what Deriva can scrape together." "A tiny little pile of rocks for some crazy people living in it, against the world." "Yup, sounds about right. With enough crazy, we might just make it out the other side." "If that's how it works, whoever they are stands no chance at all," Jackie chuckled falsely, Tom turning around in her still weakened grip to wrap his arms around her too. "It's gonna be fine, Jackie. It's just a dream. Who knows, it might just be some jealous smuck that wants us gone. Let them show up with a kid of a dragon and his drunk uncle." Jackie didn't reply, but she let him tighten his grip around her, as Tom tried to nuzzle up under her chin. "Do you want to talk about what you, saw?" Tom wasn't actually quite sure how these visions worked, how clear they might be. Perhaps it was a mistake to downplay them like that. I saw..." Jackie started, voice faltering. "It's okay, I'm not going anywhere. Just like you didn't." I saw my home. My old home. Burning. I saw my dad leave with my brother, but... it wasn't him. I don't think it was him. He didn't have a face. You know how it is." "It's a bit wishy-washy, yeah. Dreams don't always make sense," Tom reassured. He didn't understand what any of that might mean. He didn't have to right now. "So, they left. Up into the smoke. Just like the old nightmares. But then, I looked around, and there was a bunch of people there. Fengi, Sapphire, Ralph, Little Holdy, but they aren't supposed to be there. The screams from up above were there, like before, but I knew the voices. They weren't from Furlong," Jackie continued, jaw jittering as she recalled. Tom did his best to not interrupt, just be there. He thought that was the best he could do right now. "Then there was the knock at the door, just like before. I hide behind Shiva, but, it wasn't my mum. I was clutching your leg. You were quite big." She chuckled nervously, pausing for a moment. "Don't normally look up at you." "There was a first time for everything," Tom said, as warmly and as calmly as he could, running his hand down the back of her neck and up her back. "Maybe I should make some stilts, to try that for real." Jackie chuckled falsely for a moment before sighing. "That would look so very stupid." "I am the local champion of that, I'm pretty sure. One thing where I got you beat." "Maybe. I don't think you look stupid." "Well, I know you look sharp as a carving knife. Did anything else happen?" Oh, right, Yes, the pounding carried on. Got louder. The door started to shudder, rivets fell out, and fire started leaking around the edges and dripping onto the floor. A red dragon, Tom muttered, Jackie nodding. Rashan, the one who destroyed our old home. We thought he was going to be coming for us. Instead, it was Nanook and Dakota. Doesn't stop the nightmares, though. The Nook is a little better there, you have to admit, Tom tried cautiously. Jackie let out a shallow sigh. She is. She was the best thing that could have happened to us there. If only Dad hadn't gone up those bloody stairs. She clenched her teeth and forced out the words. I would have had a father. I would have had a brother. Tom didn't say anything. He just held her close. She had told the story before. He knew how it ended. There were only 2 furlongs left, and that day was the reason. He could feel how tense she was, like she was fighting to hold on to what she had. But her grip on him was forcefully gentle, like someone desperately holding on to a delicate wineglass. I know, Jackie. It wasn't fair. You didn't deserve any of it. They didn't deserve it. Tom, if it isn't just a stupid vision, I don't want to be left over again, she whispered in his ear, voice quivering. As long as you don't leave me behind either, Tom whispered back, after a moment's thought. They lay there together for a moment, as silence reigned, nothing but darkness enveloping the room. She didn't cry or sob. He thought she probably wanted to. But even here she had to save face. It saddened him, but he understood. She had to be strong, not for his sake, but for her sake. We go together or not at all then. Sounds agreeable to me, he offered, hoping to break the silence. Deal. So it's like the Royal Guard say, when they want to sound dramatic, into the sky, to victory or die. Dakota won't be happy. Well, I can't fly, so she'll get her way in the end, Tom joked, hoping it would be taken well. Jackie sighed, but she didn't sound mad or saddened. You silly sod. I'll drag you up there, of course. Ah, of course. I guess you're in charge then. Just don't put us in the ground unless you have to. Well, maybe if you kept a diet this winter, we wouldn't have that problem, she fired back, the mood lightening. Tom knew she liked bottling up whatever was wrong behind humour and a tough face. Maybe he should let her. It hadn't been a nice sleep from the sound of it. I wonder if she had to see that again and again. I hope she only remembered the once at least. Well, not everyone can stop eating for weeks just because it gets a little cold. Besides, I had to taste the pasta. It was very good, Jackie replied, as she shifted again to get comfortable, one wing stretching over him and wrapping him up. Thank you. Today was a pretty good day, despite everything. Agreed. You wouldn't believe how boring Rachuk can be when he's all you got to talk to. Oh, shut up. We all know someone came by. God fucking damn it. We suck at secrets around here, Tom said sarcastically. Jackie snickered, shaking her head. We really are. But hey, maybe Pauline will be less of a bitch if we are too dumb to lie to her. Ooh, I feel an interrogation coming on already. You're sure you don't need a hand? The forge is full already. I don't think so. Didn't you have something you were doing before we went under? Bookwork, Sapphire admitted, not feeling wholly motivated to spend her whole day attempting to do translations of what she barely understood. Do that then. You'll skip the bath tonight too. There is always the kitchen. No, thank you. I'm not going after what your boy toy made yesterday. I'll piss off. The only boy toy around here is Balathon, and he sucks at it. True. Best of luck swinging the hammer, I suppose. I'll go find a comfy chair in the library. I'd much rather go for a quick spin around the keep. I can feel my wings sagging already. So fucking cold, though. You aren't staying out there more than a few minutes. Tom had a much better idea. Remember those times we spent training with him, hanging from a bar or pushing yourself off the ground? Yeah, to get stronger, right? It makes sense. People who work hard are stronger than those who don't. Exactly. So just keep that up for your wings in here. I hang from the doorframe on the wing claws. Feels quite nice. I guess that is a thought, isn't it? Why not? Beats freezing a wing finger off to get some exercise. Anyway, see you later. Try not to burn the place down and all that. No promises. Tink is involved after all. Then hang him from a coat rack or something, Sapphire replied with a chuckle, as she turned around to make for the library, Jackie carrying on down below. Brilliant idea, Saph. I'll make sure to get Junior's permission first. When she made it to the library, she didn't find it empty. Apuma apparently had a class in session, and judging from the blackboard, today's subject was mathematics. Math had always been part of his teachings, even if it was very elementary. If you could do basic arithmetic on the frontier, then you were pretty much set for life. Tom's escapades had shifted the bar a touch on what would be useful to know, so it only made sense the old man was trying to get the children a little further ahead in terms of what they could do.
Oh, hello, Sapphire. Are you here to lend us a hand?
The old man questioned warmly as she entered. She gently shook her head. No. I'm going to be doing some reading. Please, carry on.
Ah, I see. Very well, then. Just try not to disturb Lincosta. She too is reading, the lawmaster replied, gesturing to the young mage, who was sitting at the study bench by the wall, with a large tome open, utterly engrossed in its pages. Sapphire had rather hoped to use said bench, but there was room for two, so it should be fine. I can certainly try, Sapphire said, as she went to fetch her own reading materials. She had been in the middle of a book of Tom's about the history of glassworking. The human had asked that she go through it and look for anything they might be able to make use of. She had no idea what exactly he wanted, but supposedly anything to do with glass and vacuum was important to him. It did not take long for her to procure the book. Tom's volumes rather stood out on the shelf, with their picturesque backings made of paper rather than leather. Carefully, she pulled it from the shelf and went to sit next to Lincosta, who only then noticed Sapphire had entered. Oh, hi, Saph. Sorry, I will just move over a little. True to her word, she picked up her tome and moved over to the side a little so Sapphire would fit. Tom's book was substantially smaller next to the large and intricate tome Lincosta was working on, but as she opened it, there was probably twice the number of words to a page, and a lovely picture to look at. It really is fun to see the difference, isn't it? Sapphire remarked, as she tried to remember just what it was she had been reading while she got out the small notebook she used to aid in her translation work. Her own little dictionary, one might say. Lincosta glanced over and nodded. Yes, quite. And the pages are so thin and smooth, but it could have spent a little more time on embellishments. Lincosta's tome did have some very beautiful pattern work all along the margins, and of course the first rune looked like it had taken an artist the better part of a day to paint. It was a handwritten work too, Sapphire remarked. Very expensive stuff. Yeah, the pictures are much better though. What are you reading? One of Edita's books. It is about enchanting. She needs me to help her with something she has been working on, and I need to learn the new rituals for it. Ooh, Inquisition book. That explains all the niceties. Yes, it is priceless, but even just making another one by hand would take a year for a very skilled scribe. The backing bands are solid gold, and the cover is wing leather. The last person who pissed off Jelena. Wing cuts and rings melted down, Sapphire joked. Lincosta didn't seem to take the joke that well. Please, Sapphire, you know Pauline listens. I honestly don't think she'd disagree. If she had her way, a drill would be a wall ornament by now, I'm sure, or slaving away until she becomes said ornament quite naturally. Maybe. Just don't, okay? It's pretty strange to be holding what's left of someone, you know. Sapphire shrugged. Your mother's armour has bits of someone in it. Likely someone quite unfortunate, you know. Well, I won't ever have to wear that. I'll be quite all right with a nice robe. Who knows? Maybe it'll even be silk. Actually, yeah, have you heard how Esmeralda, Wiperna and Ray are getting on with those uniforms they talked about? And the dresses? No, I haven't. I'm sure it will take quite a long time. What about Jackie? Wasn't she making something for Tong? She is, yeah. She is quite busy, though. I don't know if she's handed it over. She isn't that great at sewing, after all. Yes, she is much better with a hammer. And we need someone to swing those these days. Tom loves his metal, that is for certain. Half the things humans make are metal by the looks of things, and the rest is that strange plastic stuff that doesn't exist here. I still don't know how they make it. Edita explained it to me, actually. Tom must have told her. It's made from oil. Oil? You know what? I'm just not going to ask any questions. I don't understand either. Something about tiny snakes in the oil curling together into a bird's nest. It was very weird to listen to. Blessed be her heart. She probably understands, though. Or doesn't mind not understanding. That is just how it is. Smartest move, to be honest. Oh yeah, question. Do you know what that means? It's all over this book. Saf questioned, pointing at the word propane. It's that funny lip sound again that he loves. It says, "Crocaine burner," and shows a picture of a flame coming out of a tube. Have you ever heard of it? No, I haven't got a clue. Maybe it's a fuel the burner uses. Like a different kind of, One moment. Sapphire started paging through her little booklet, looking for the section she had made on human materials, running a finger down the page. Ah, Cetrol, Detrol, whatever it is, the fuel for his bike. It does sound a little bit similar. Maybe it's a different kind, like you have gland oil and orchid oil. Maybe. I think you should ask him. I'm sure he won't mind clearing it up. Right, yeah. I'll just put that one in fuel, then... and question mark, Sapphire muttered, as she carefully made the note using her stencil. She could write pretty well, but she needed to be slow and careful if it had to look even halfway decent. She could feel the kind yet judging eyes of Lincosta glance over her work as she finished the new line. Lincosta didn't say anything, but rather returned to her own tome, making effortless notes as she went along without even looking at her own notebook. One day, Sapphire, you too will make it look easy. It's going to suck to get there, though. Why couldn't I be a patrol chief instead of something? That would be so much easier. But no, Sapphire wants to be a clerk for some reason. Just 'cause she feels like being useful. Any idiot can patrol. No one can read English. Fuck it. Next line. The fuck is a punty? Right. Everyone ready to get back to work? Tom half shouted into the workshop, filled with sleepy dragonettes. Only one was truly awake. Of course, engineer. Edita spoke up quickly and with reverence, giving a quick bow. How shall we apply ourselves? Everyone, including Tom, gave the artificer a bit of a side-eye, and as he cleared his throat to continue, Tink joined in.
By golly, I could do with your sprightliness, Edita. My bones ache and my fingers are all stiff. Can we start there? Something to get a stiff old man warmed up.
Edita didn't look like she knew how to answer that question. Concessions to comfort had never been her strong suit.
We may start by cleaning up the mess someone has made of my forge while I was not here to supervise, Shiva then added with evident annoyance, still holding the broom she had been so rudely interrupted from using when Tom had so kindly asked for their attention but a moment ago.
Oh, what is a dirty workshop but a sign things are being done? Besides, it pleases Oleg.
Tink was quick to answer, Shiva giving him a glare that betrayed she certainly didn't agree with the sentiment.
It looks more like Tula's doing in here, and the only thing you do battle with, Tink, is sanity.
Oh, don't be such a killjoy. We only just got back up. Need I remind you I haven't been on fire for months? You only managed a few weeks before you went to sleep.
It is hardly my fault someone spilled oil up on my apron,
the smith replied, with palpable annoyance. Tom just stood there and watched, quite confident that interrupting would be a poor idea. Edita was waiting patiently, and Junior looked a touch embarrassed. Jackie had just started putting things in order while they waited.
Well, it wasn't me. I can assure you of that,
Tink declared confidently.
You wouldn't know if you had doused yourself in the stuff,
the smith dismissed, as she turned her back to rearrange the rack of hammers. Tink just crossed his arms in defiance, and held his head high.
I can tell the oil by smell alone, and it was shale oil.
Shiva decided she had no need to respond, and simply carried on with her sorting, moving to the rows of tongs and pliers. Right, Tom said cautiously, hoping that was his cue to get back to talking. Shiva did actually stop and look at him, so that was a good sign. We have a few things we need to get on with. Adita, you have a water cooling system to finish, and we need the second machine gun done. I'm going to need some help from you for the heating system as well. And Shiva, you are going to be on that to start with. We have a lot of casting to do. Shiva simply nodded, and Adita looked ecstatic, clutching a wrench which Tom assumed functioned almost like a teddy bear to her. Tink and Junior, you are going to be making parts for the machine gun. I have finished what I need for the heating system. When you are done with that, I have some plans for you. Gotta keep the Latham mill running. The pair nodded in unison, the old man smiling kindly. Oh, and, well, the Nook wants this done by spring. Poor Chook thinks the world wants us dead like usual, so best just make him happy, Tom lied, giving Shiva a knowing glance. She didn't say anything or even nod. She just stared blankly at him like nothing was amiss.
Ha! Of course! The little blighter could be scared by a pointy shadow! No need to worry, we will have everything ready for the lovely spring sun,
Tink stated confidently. It wasn't a confidence which was grounded in anything really, but that never stopped Tink.
Even if we have to work for the night, Adita added, with unbridled enthusiasm and determination.
Tom allowed a chuckle as he nodded. Let us hope it doesn't come to that. We have many new things to tangle with. Better to do it right than to get it wrong because we are tired. I am certain you will have plenty of opportunity.
Of course.
She gave a quick bow, eyes gleaming with excitement. She definitely assumed it would be something grand. For once, it actually was. Tom needed to have some more discussions on cold steam and mechanics of flight. Who knew what was locked away inside that head of hers? Maybe making gliders for cripples was an old lost tradition. That sure would be helpful.
I will do my best to finish any task in time.
Tom chuckled. You aren't behind schedule, you were asleep. We will be fine.
Of course.
She gave another, deeper nod.
Sorry.
Tom stared for a moment, wondering if he should correct her, then just sighed. Right, Shiva. When you think the forge is ready, we have some casting to do. The smith nodded and stepped forward, thrusting her broom into his hands, which did surprise Tom a touch.
Get sweeping then, esteemed engineer.
As Sapphire's work continued, things had started to get out of hand a little bit. Classes had ended, earning her and Lancaster the run of the library. Lancaster had decided to weigh in more and more on Sapphire's work. The Major tried asking questions of Sapphire in regards to her own work, which had not been much use. Outside of her own magic, Sapphire knew little more than the children about magics and enchantments. She didn't know if Lancaster just wanted a break from her own studies, or if the constant questions Sapphire had offered proved too enticing. Even Sapphire had to admit it was interesting reading, actually. This idea of moulding glass like clay, she'd never thought about how glass was made or worked before. It wasn't as if they had anyone who could do it at the keep. Well, perhaps Adita, but she would leave Tom to find that out. For now, her job was to understand this book, so she could start translating it sort of accurately. But now she had help. It also let her pay heed to Jackalope's recommendation. The heavy-set chandelier had worked quite wonderfully. You always had to jump into it to light the tallow candles. You could, of course, use a lighting stick like a puma normally did, but Cullinger had been kind enough to add in handholds. It would be a shame not to use them. As such, Sapphire hung suspended from her wing claws, rising and falling slowly, like a saint of legend who could hover effortlessly. Only the tome she held preached of industry rather than worship and battle. For Dorosilicate glass, the, heat growth, I think? The heat growth is defined by... Oh my, an equation. I'll come down. True to her word, Sapphire hung low, wings stretched above her head, then let her claws slip from the handholds and plummeted. Her wings drove down,
catching her as she alighted gently upon the floor and turning to Lancaster, book in hand. We'll have to copy this as is. She turned the book to show the mage, who nodded in agreement. It's not so bad, but let's see here. 3 times 10 to the negative 6th power. Oh, that's how you say that. What does that do? It makes the number very small, one with 6 zeros in front of it, rather than 6 behind it, Lancaster explained, as she kept copying to the sheet of parchment. Ah, right. That's a very small number. Yes, that is what it said in the summary. This type of glass doesn't expand when it gets hot. I didn't know glass got bigger when it got hot in the first place. The book said metal does too. It's strange to think about, isn't it? I'm sure Shiva knew. It must be annoying when trying to forge something. How much does it grow? I don't know, Lancaster answered honestly, looking at the small equation. But this would be very little. Can you remember what the formula for steel was? Lynn, I got no goddamn clue. Sapphire chuckled incredulously as she looked to the mage. Lynn slowly looked up from her page to the Huntress, seemingly without comprehending what was funny. At least for a moment. Oh, right. She too began to snicker, shaking her head. Sorry, I will ask about the goose migration season next time. Sav nodded and smiled. Yes, that would be better. Lancaster looked back down and put the finishing touches on the formula before nodding to herself. Right. What does that mean then? Sapphire looked to where the mage was pointing. At 20 degrees Celsius. That's room temperature, I think. Rooms can have many different temperatures. Well, apparently humans decided there was only one correct temperature. Knowing Tom, I'm betting it's too cold to be comfortable. But if it's only at that temperature, then what happens with the formula as it gets hotter? Isn't that the point of this? I don't know. Maybe K changes? I thought that was a constant. Oh, goddammit. We're going to have to find out what that is, isn't it? I'll start paging. Does that mean I need to dangle from the ceiling instead? Lancaster joked, throwing a side eye up at the still swaying chandelier. What? Looking to get fit again? Maybe go on a few field trips? Or what was it they called it at the academy? I remember you talking about it. Excursions. And I'm not that out of shape. I can fly along with all of you. If we slow down, Sapphire jested, as she kept paging. Well, not everyone can be a famous racer, Lancaster replied, crossing her arms as she waited. But maybe I'll just have to challenge you one day, when I can get Jarrex to help me out. Riding someone else is damn well cheating, and you know it, Sapphire chuckled. I have learned dragon magic, and when he wakes up, we are going to have to practice. One of the spells in that nice big book I got from Jelena is about transferring energy from one person to another. It's very important. You have to use it for a bunch of other spells. What? So you are going to be flying on a sugar rush without the sugar? I think so. I haven't tried it yet. Well, I will if you ever get it working. Then you're wrong, girl.